Brought to you by Penguin.
The Four-Pillar Plan, written and read by me, Dr Rangan Chatterjee. Introduction. We're very used to the idea that certain lifestyles are bad for us. We know we shouldn't smoke. We're aware that sitting at a desk for 8 hours per day isn't a great idea, and that we should avoid eating lots of sugar. Perhaps a less familiar idea is that our lifestyles can actually be medicine. It's not just that we should avoid bad habits, it's that the right lifestyle and nutrition can actually improve our well-being, reverse our health problems, and even make chronic diseases like type 2 diabetes, obesity, and depression disappear. It took a while for this to come into focus for me. A few years into my job as a GP, I realised that I was probably helping only around 1/5 of the patients walking through my door. I could certainly give them a drug to suppress their symptoms, but I was failing to get to the actual root cause of their problems. The trouble with the way we both think about health and practice medicine is this. We forget that the human body is one big connected system. If a patient presents to us with symptoms of depression, the usual textbook diagnosis is that it's a psychological condition caused by a chemical imbalance in the brain. That will almost certainly lead to the prescription of an antidepressant. What I found was that depression, along with many other conditions, could just as easily be driven by poor diet, high stress levels, a lack of physical activity, or even more likely, a combination of all three. Similarly with eczema, the textbook tells us to prescribe a steroid cream for the rash, but the rash is just a symptom. There's little awareness that the causes of eczema are many, among them an overreactive immune system, which in turn may be caused by food intolerance, abnormal gut bacteria, or even high stress levels. Why not treat these problems rather than the rash and get rid of the eczema for good? The fact is, the body doesn't work as the simplistic and reductionist textbook expects it to. It's a highly evolved biological mechanism that is completely interconnected. This is why I was only managing to treat around 20% of my patients. All too often, a symptom in one domain might actually have a cause in an area of the body that our medical training just doesn't tell us to look at. This is why I believe that the future of medicine will be about more doctors being super generalists rather than super specialists. Just as our understanding of the human body is evolving, so the practice of medicine will also need to evolve. Good health occurs outside the doctor's surgery, not inside. Our lifestyles themselves are often the best medicine. I'll give you an example of how the current way we view health is tripping us up, with potentially very serious consequences. For years, doctors have struggled to treat a condition called chronic fatigue syndrome. This has led to it being one of the most frustrating conditions that we see, because we don't seem to be able to help. I think the reason medical researchers are struggling so badly to find an effective treatment is that they're seeking a single cause and a single cure. But my research into the interconnectedness of the body has convinced me there is no single cause of this condition. I believe that patients who develop chronic fatigue syndrome are usually experiencing multiple problems, and in order to help them, we need to address them all. Our bodies, and the minds that interact with them, are systems of almost unparalleled complexity. I'm heartened to see some research on this basis is now being conducted into incurable conditions, such as Alzheimer's. It's early days yet, and a lot more work needs to be done. But in that area at least, it's beginning to look as if the multi-pronged approach that I endorse could achieve promising outcomes. I call such an approach progressive medicine. It's the idea that we need to look at as many factors as possible when examining what creates wellness or illness. Because the body is so connected, with relatively distant parts of it affecting each other, the cause or causes of any particular illness.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?